Hello guys, in this video we will discuss regarding the taste pathway and 5 basic taste modalities and the various variations in the taste modality. So as we know, ഭക്ഷണം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്കെന്താണ്, ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് ജസ്റ്റ് വാട്ട് വി നമ്മളെന്താ നമ്മളെ ഒരു വിശപ്പ് മാറ്റാൻ വേണ്ടി മാത്രം നമ്മൾ കഴിക്കുന്ന ഒന്നല്ല ഭക്ഷണം അല്ലേ. പക്ഷേ റദർ ദാൻ ദാറ്റ് ഫുഡ് ഈസ് ഭക്ഷണം എന്താണ്, ഒരു വികാരം കൂടിയാണ് അല്ലേ. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ നമുക്കറിയാം, നമ്മൾ സദ്യ ഇഷ്ടമില്ലാത്ത ഒരാളും ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. ഓണത്തിന് നമ്മൾ 19 ഉപ്പേരികളും പിന്നെ സദ്യയും പായസവും പപ്പടവും പഴവും എല്ലാം കൂടെ കൂട്ടി, അതൊരു വികാരം തന്നെ അല്ലേ. പിന്നെന്താ, അതിലേക്ക് ഇത്തിരി കടുമാങ്ങ അച്ചാറും കൂടെ ആകുമ്പോൾ പിന്നെ ഒരു കരിമീൻ പൊള്ളിച്ചതും കൂടെ ആയാലോ, ഷാറായി. ഇത് വേറൊരു വികാരം. പൊറാട്ടയും ബീഫും എല്ലാവർക്കും ഇഷ്ടമാണ്. പിന്നെ രാവിലെ ഇത്തിരി ദോശയും, നല്ല ഞെറുമുറുമായുള്ളൊരു ദോശയും അതിലേക്ക് നല്ല ഞെറുമുറുമായിട്ടുള്ളൊരു നല്ല ഉഴുന്നുവടിയും കൂടെ കിട്ടിയാൽ ഒരു ഇത്തിരി ചട്നിയും കൂടി ആയാലോ. പിന്നെ ഭക്ഷണത്തിനൊക്കെ ശേഷം നമ്മൾ മലയാളികൾക്ക് എന്താണ്, ഒരു മധുരമാവാം അല്ലേ, ഒരു ഇത്തിരി മധുരമാവാം എല്ലാവർക്കും, ഷുഗർ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും അല്ലേ, അങ്ങനെയല്ലേ നാട്ടിലെ നടപ്പ്. നല്ല ഡെസേർട്ടും പക്ഷേ കാസിംബായി എന്താ പറയുന്നത്, കാസിംക്ക് എന്താ പറയണേ, എന്താ പറയുന്നത് ഇവിടെ തിലകൻ ദുൽഖറിനോട് എന്താ പറയുന്നത്, ഭക്ഷണമൊക്കെ എങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയാലും അതിലിത്തിരി മുഹബത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു ചേരുവല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിന് ടേസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ ബൈ ദാറ്റ് we come to our topic proper, that is taste. Now let's discuss regarding the taste buds. As we know, these taste buds are essential for taste perception. So these are the receptor organs. There are numerous taste buds in our tongue. It is present around 10,000 in numbers. These are ovoid bodies and it has a diameter of 50 to 70 micrometer. It is not only located in the tongue, but these taste buds are also present in the epiglottis, in the palate, in the pharynx, and the walls of papilla of the tongue. So അപ്പോൾ ടേസ്റ്റ് ബഡ് എവിടെയൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്? അത് ടേസ്റ്റ് ബഡ്സ് ഉള്ളത് ടങ്കിൽ മാത്രമല്ല, എപ്പിഗ്ലോട്ടിസിലുണ്ട്, പാലറ്റിലുണ്ട്, ഫാരിങ്സിലുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ അത് എന്താണ്, ഒരു 10,000, അറൗണ്ട് 10,000 number of taste buds are available. By that we can come to the structure of a taste bud. So as we already said, it's a ovoid body and it has 50 to 70 micrometer in diameter. So there are mainly 4 types of taste cells: type 1 cell, type 2 cells, type 3 cells and type 4 cells. This type 3 cell is mainly responsible for recognition, or it acts as a receptor cell. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ്, ടേസ്റ്റിനെ മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നതിൽ കൂടുതൽ റോൾ ആർക്കാണുള്ളത്? ടൈപ്പ് 3 സെൽസിനാണ്. സോ ദിസ് ഈസ് ദ ടൈപ്പ് 1 സെൽ and this is the type 3 cell, and in between that there is a type 2 cell. Here we can see on the basal aspect there are some cells, some round or some polygonal cell which are called as type 4 cell or basal cell, and at the end of each taste cell there are numerous nerve fibers. അപ്പോൾ ടൈപ്പ് 1, ടൈപ്പ് 2, ടൈപ്പ് 3 ആൻഡ് ടൈപ്പ് 4 സെൽസ് ഉണ്ട്. അതിൻ്റെ സെൽസിൻ്റെ ഒക്കെ അടിയിലായിട്ട് എന്തുണ്ട്? ദർ ആർ ന്യൂമറസ് നെർവ് ഫൈബേഴ്സ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ടേസ്റ്റ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഭക്ഷണത്തിലുള്ള ടേസ്റ്റ് ടേസ്റ്റ് സെൽസ് മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നത്? സോ വി ക്യാൻ സീ ദർ ഇസ് എ ടേസ്റ്റ് പോർ. സോ ദീസ് ആഫ്റ്റർ ചൂയിങ് ദീസ് മോളിക്യൂൾസ് ഓഫ് ഫുഡ് enters through this taste pore, and at the opening of the taste pore these taste cells have numerous microvilli. You can see here numerous microvilli. So when food enters through these through these microvilli, they get stimulated. These types 1 or type 2 or type 3 cells get stimulated, and these cells alter it into an electric signal and it passes on to nerve fibers. So I think it's very clear to you the structure of the taste bud. So once again, It has an ovoid shape and it has a diameter of 50 to 70 micrometer, and at one end it has a taste pore. The molecules of food enters through it. While entering, it stimulates the microvilli present on the taste cell. And there are 4 types of taste cell: type 1, type 2, type 3 and type 4 cell. Type 3 cells are the major player or the key player in it, and it senses most of our taste sensation. On the other end of a taste bud, we have nerve fibers. So once these microvilli are stimulated, these taste cell recognize the taste and it convert it into an electric signal, and these are sent via nerve fibers. So that's all about the taste structure of the taste bud. Now we can come to the papillae. Papilla is nothing but the structure in which taste buds are located. These are structures in which taste buds are located. So there are mainly 4 types of papillae. First one is the fungiform papillae, second one is the foliate papillae, third one is the circumvallate papillae, and fourth one is the filiform papillae. Now we can look where are these papillae located on our tongue. So this tongue is divided into 2 portions: the posterior 1/3 and the anterior 2/3. So on the anterior 2/3 we have majority of these taste papillae, and we can see here small yellow dots. These dots are called as fungiform papillae, which are mainly located on anterior 2/3 of the tongue. And on the junction of anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3, we have this bigger papillae, which are known as circumvallate papillae. These are arranged in V shape, so they have a name called circumvallate papillae. And to the lateral sides of the circumvallate papillae, we have tiny reddish nodule which are called as foliate papillae. So we have already discussed 3 papillae, and the last one remaining is the filiform papillae. Filiform papillae are located mainly on the dorsal aspect of the tongue towards the midline. So this filiform papillae has lesser number of taste buds, and it has mainly mechanical function. So I think it's very clear to you. Once again I will describe it. The tongue is divided into anterior 2/3 and the posterior 1/3, and we have papillae located mainly on the anterior 2/3 of the tongue. These papillae, which are like yellowish papillae, which are located mainly on the anterior 2/3 of the tongue, are called as fungiform papillae. The papillae, which is located at the junction of anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3 in a V-shaped manner, is known as circumvallate papillae. On to the lateral aspect of circumvallate papillae, there are another group of papillae which are known as foliate papillae. And towards the center of the tongue, we have filiform papillae, which has mainly mechanical property. So we have discussed these types of papillae. Now we can look the innervation of the tongue. As we already discussed, the tongue is divided into anterior 2/3 and the posterior 1/3. We can see that anterior 2/3 is supplied by a type of nerve which is known as chordae tympani nerve, whereas the posterior 1/3 is supplied by a type of nerve known as glossopharyngeal nerve, and these nerve supply the taste buds present on these areas. Now we can look to the taste pathway. How we are able to recognize the taste by its particular nature. So, first of all, when we are eating food, the molecules of food comes in contact with the taste bud, which is the receptor organ. From there arises the nerves, which is the first order neuron. So these first order neuron start from the tongue and it goes all the way up to the nucleus tractus solitarius, which is located in the medulla. So this from the tongue we have mainly two types of nerve, that is glossopharyngeal nerve and the chordae tympani nerve. So one of these two nerves may act as the first order neuron. So നമ്മളെ ടേസ്റ്റ് നാവിൽ നിന്ന് ടേസ്റ്റ് ബഡ്സ് അത് കെമിക്കൽ സിഗ്നൽസ് ഒക്കെ ഇലക്ട്രിക്കൽ സിഗ്നൽസ് ആക്കി അതിനെയൊക്കെ നെർവിലൂടെ കണ്ടക്ട് ചെയ്ത് അതിനെ ന്യൂക്ലിയസ് ട്രാക്ടസ് സോളിറ്റേറിയസ് മെഡുല്ലയിലെ ന്യൂക്ലിയസ് ട്രാക്ടസ് സോളിറ്റേറിയസ് വരെ എത്തിക്കുന്ന ന്യൂറോൺസിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറയുന്നത്, ഫസ്റ്റ് ഓർഡർ ന്യൂറോൺസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. And from the nucleus tractus solitarius they form second order neurons. So the second order neurons arises from nucleus tractus solitarius in the medulla and they go all the way up in a bundle to reach postroventral nucleus of the thalamus. So second order neurons start from the medulla and ends in the thalamus. And while they go up, they go in a particular bundle known as medial lemniscus. So they ascend along the medial lemniscus to terminate or to synapse in the thalamus, which is the postroventral nucleus of the thalamus. So from thalamus, the third order neurons arises. So this third order neuron arises from the thalamus and it projects into the parietal cortex. It is a third order neurons. So there are mainly three neurons: first order neuron, second order neuron, and third order neurons. There are mainly three order of neurons. It's not just three neurons, but it's three order of neurons. So as we already discussed, first order neurons arises from the tongue and it ascends all the way up to reach the medulla where it synapses in the nucleus tractus solitarius. These are the first order neurons. Now we can look the second order neurons. Second order neurons start from the synapse of nucleus tractus solitarius and the medulla and it ascends as a bundle along medial lemniscus and it terminates it makes another synapse at thalamus. It is postroventral nucleus of the thalamus and this constitutes the second order neurons. Now the third order neurons arises from the thalamus, that is postroventral nucleus of the thalamus, and it projects into the parietal cortex. These are the third order neurons. So that's all about the taste pathway. We can once again discuss that. First of all, the major receptors are the type 3 cells of the taste buds, and each taste bud is innervated by 50 sensory nerve fibers, and each nerve fiber also supplies at least 5 taste buds through its terminals. Now we can look the first order neurons. So these are the sensory nerve fibers from the taste buds, as I already said. From anterior 2/3 of the tongue we have chordae tympani nerve, which is the branch of facial nerve, that is a cranial nerve 7. Now posterior 1/3 of the tongue we have glossopharyngeal nerve, it is the cranial nerve 9, and other areas, that is palate, epiglottis, pharynx. From these areas vagus nerve act as a first order neurons. So first order neurons start from the tongue from the taste buds, and they unite in the gustatory portion of nucleus tractus solitarius, which is located in the medulla. So first order neurons start from tongue and it goes all the way up to reach the nucleus tractus solitarius in the medulla. Now we can look the second order neurons. As I already said, it arises from NDS of the medulla. It ascends in the ipsilateral medial lemniscus and it reaches the ventral postromedial nucleus of the thalamus. Now the third order neurons, they arise from the postroventral nucleus of the thalamus and projects into the parietal lobe of the cerebral cortex. And it's very important, it's parietal lobe. Now there is a specific taste center located in the parietal lobe. It is located in the opercular insular cortex. So we already learned that third order neurons projects into the parietal lobe, and there is a specific, particularly the opercular insular cortex, which is located in the lower part of postcentral hairs. So what is a taste, which is a taste center in our body? It is nothing but the opercular insular cortex is the taste center in our body. It is an MCQ question. Opercular insular cortex. Now we can come to the 5 basic taste modalities. There are 5 basic taste modalities. First one is sweet, second one is sour, third one is bitter, fourth one is salt, and the fifth one is umami. So it's another MCQ question or a one word answer type of question. And this umami taste is produced by monosodium glutamate. Now we can come into the salt taste. We can discuss something regarding that. So salt taste is produced by chlorides and nitrates of sodium, potassium and ammonium. Now we can come to the sour taste. This sour taste is produced due to the H plus ions present in acids and salt. Now umami, as I already said, it is produced by monosodium glutamate, and it was first discovered in Japan, and it was extracted from a particular type of mushrooms which was seen in Japan. Now as I already mentioned, these contain mainly monosodium glutamate. Now bitter taste is produced by organic substance like quinine, morphine, bile salt, etc. and inorganic substances like calcium, magnesium and ammonium can also produce bitter taste, and it is responsible for the bitterness. And what is the reason behind bitterness of the salt? It is mainly due to cations present in the salt. Now sweet taste, as you know, sweet tastes are produced by saccharides, mono or polysaccharides, aldehydes, alcohols, ketones, chloroform can also produce that, and inorganic substances like lead and beryllium, which are MCQs. Lead and beryllium can produce sweet taste. Now we can discuss some abnormalities of taste. First one is agusia or absence of taste. Second one is hypoagusia or decreased taste sensation. Third one is dysgeusia or altered taste sensation. First of all, agusia. Agusia is the loss of taste sensation or absence of taste sensation. It can occur due to damage to the lingual or glossopharyngeal nerve. It can also occur due to aging and heavy tobacco use. Vitamin B3 or zinc deficiency can cause mucosal abnormalities. Since they can cause mucosal abnormalities or mucosal damage or thinning of the mucosa, taste buds which are located in these mucosa are lost. So vitamin B3 and zinc deficiencies can cause mucosal deficiency or mucosal thinning, and that will result in loss of taste buds, and that will result in agusia or absence of taste sensation. Now hypoagusia means decrease in the taste sensation. It is due to increase in the threshold of different taste sensations. Now we can look the dysgeusia or parageusia, which is disturbance or alteration in the taste sensation, and it is found in the temporal lobe syndrome. So in temporal lobe syndrome especially, there is a particular syndrome called Kluver-Bucy syndrome. In it we can see this altered or dysgeusia or parageusia or altered taste sensation, hyperphagia, hypersexuality, etc. are also seen in that syndrome. By thus we conclude this topic. Thank you everyone.